What's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, a good old-fashioned mailbag where it's just me and you guys chopping it up about your Minnesota Vikings. As we got a fun week. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. It's going to be a ton of fun, but let's start off with my main guy, Z Cool. Love Z Cool. Shout out to you, man. But saying, when will we see a Gink 6, or will Isaiah Rodgers hog all the defensive scores this year? That's a great question, Z Cool. I don't know if you're watching my preview from earlier this week, but my bold prediction for the Vikings versus Steelers game is we will get the Gink 6. And how awesome would it be that Van Ginkel would have a Gink 6 against Rodgers in London, but now also Ireland? So that's my bold prediction. I think we will get a Gink 6 eventually. And this isn't just like all vibes. Like, I actually do think he's got a good chance. Rodgers loves taking all the underneath stuff this year. And with obviously, Flora, now obviously it's banks on Van Ginkel actually playing. Might have gotten word on that when you guys are seeing this, but assuming he is playing, I think it could happen this weekend. Rodgers loves taking everything underneath, and when you just consistently go underneath against the Minnesota Vikings, you're not always going to guess the coverage correctly. So that's when Van Ginkel, if he's lined up, pops back real quick, intercepts one. So I think we got a good chance at a Gink 6 this upcoming weekend. But Jacob Dong coming in. What's going on? Saying, Pat, how do you think JA3 is going to fit back into our offense? And who do you think is a better pass-catching back, Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara? All right, first part here. How do you think JA3 is going to fit back into our offense? Smooth as butter. Kevin O'Connell's been raving about him this week, saying he's got fresh legs. He's in fantastic shape. And I think, Jordan Addison is literally like that final infinity stone right now, where it's just going to make everything better. Like, you got Jefferson's one of the stones. Darisaw is one of the stones. I'll put TJ Hawkinson as a stone right now. So Hawk gets a stone, Jordan Mason and the run game get a stone, and then you just plop on in Jordan Addison, and the whole offense gets a spark. So I think he's just going to make it better. It's also just going to force other defenses where you almost have to run cover two. Like, you have to have two high safeties, because if you don't, that means one of the guys is one-on-one, probably will be Jordan Addison. And then if you are in cover two, then the Vikings can run all over them. So I just think the offense almost gives some of these teams an unsolvable problem. But Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara, better pass catching back. Love Aaron Jones, but this is Alvin Kamara. Savage Jr. saying, do you think when JJ is back that his play will improve with Christian Darisaw? Yeah, obviously. 100%. Like, any quarterback's play will improve with Christian Darisaw in the lineup. Like, if Wentz didn't have Darisaw, I'm sure he wouldn't have looked as good as he did this previous week. But yeah, JJ is going to look a lot better when he has Darisaw there. Once Jordan Addison gets there, he'll hopefully have all 5 starting offensive linemen, and wait and see what happens over the next 2 weeks. But I'm pretty confident that JJ will be starting Week 7 against the Eagles, no matter what happens. So yeah, JJ is going to look a lot better with Christian Darisaw now playing. Clay saying, do you think we will make Aaron see Ghost? I mean, he was seeing Ghost last year. Aaron Rodgers struggled against this Brian Flores defense, and I think this defense is better than what they were last year. So, yeah, 100%. Like, most quarterbacks see Ghosts against the Minnesota Vikings. Really, the only quarterback that has killed this Flores system is Jerrod Goff, which is so funny to think about. Even a guy like Stafford has had some success against Flores, but yeah, most quarterbacks see Ghosts. Like, I still remember that clip of it was Brock Purdy. Who we think about this? Brock Purdy. This was actually when Jordan Mason was on the Niners. He had all the weapons when Ayuk was still playing last year. He had everybody available, and he comes up to Flores after the game, and he's like, "Yo, your scheme is absolutely crazy. Like, these guys are just in awe of it." So yeah, Aaron Rodgers, good luck this Sunday. DDD saying we're going undefeated in Europe. I agree. We'll be at the London game. That's awesome. After the bye, it gets tasty. Can we beat the Eagles? Just an awesome question. An awesome lead up to the question. We're going undefeated in Europe. I'll be at the London game. After the bye, it gets tasty. Can we beat the Eagles? Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. It's going to be a tough matchup, though. Philly is still a wagon. Now, I don't think Philly is nearly as good as they were last year, but they still deserve the top nod in the NFC. We get them at home. You're coming off a bye. It's probably going to be J.J. McCarthy starting, and what a storyline that would be. What if J.J. comes back Week 7, Vikings moved to 5-1. We beat the Eagles. And then he takes on his former college head coach that following Thursday in Los Angeles, taking on Jim Harbaugh. If the NFL, if you want to rig some storylines, rig the Vikings to beat the Eagles and JJ as the starting quarterback. That would have some great storylines leading to that Thursday matchup. But DDD, I appreciate you, Brody. Now let me ask you guys this. Got a lot of mixed responses on this question. I've seen this getting debated back and forth. Who is the more important player to the Vikings? Is it Christian Darrisaw or is it Justin Jefferson? Give me a 71 for CD. Give me an 18 for Jefferson. Now, I think there is no wrong answer to this. Whoever you think, you can make a really good case. For me personally, and I listen, I flip-flop back and forth on this all the time. For me personally, I would go Justin Jefferson, mainly just because the whole offense is ran around him. But also, I can make the same argument. Like, Jefferson isn't as good when Darrisaw is not playing just because you don't have the time. So I can see both sides, but I'll still be typing my 18. Now we'll get to more questions here in a second, but today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, and you and I make decisions every day, but PrizePicks being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. If you guys download that, plug in promo code CLNS, we'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. On PrizePicks, it's super simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in. PrizePicks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40-plus states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. PrizePicks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They also offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. So download the PrizePicks app today, plug in promo code CLNS, get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, Reed Southern coming in with the next question. Appreciate you, my guy. Saying, I hope J.J. McCarthy does good, but I think Carson Wentz is going to do us better for this year. But I also agree with you, giving J.J. McCarthy the reps for further of the Vikings. What do you think? Yeah, I also disagree with people saying that Carson Wentz is better than JJ right now. I understand it may look like it. Like, obviously the Vikings shot 48 points in Wentz's first game starting, but there's context to everything. JJ looked awful in his first 2 starts, but I also think JJ, like, if he would have played Sunday, it would have been the exact same. Like, I don't think anything would have changed. I don't think it was Wentz, like, giving this team that juice. I just think, you got Darrisaw back. The defense got a little healthier with Van Ginkel playing now. So I do disagree with that take out there where it's like, oh, Carson Wentz is better than JJ right now. I don't think we can definitely say that. I think JJ's shown more pop. But again, that's just me. I'm probably a little biased towards JJ, but yeah, I think he, no matter what, should be the starter week 7. That's just where I stand. Again, I don't think there's a wrong answer to that question. Trey Brown saying, if every player on our team was in their prime, would we win the Super Bowl? Carson Wentz, Adam Thielen, Jonathan Allen back in their prime? That's a fucking awesome question, Trey Brown. So if every player on our team was in our prime, would we win the Super Bowl? Well, we also got to assume this is the case for every other team, right? Like, every other team has all their players in their prime. All right, let me just think about this. So the first team I thought of was the Rams. Like, if they had Matthew Stafford in his prime and Devontae Adams in his prime with Puka Nacua, I mean, that would be a problem. But yeah, prime Carson Wentz, prime Adam Thielen with Jefferson, Addison, prime TJ Hawkinson, which is also sad to say that TJ's not in his prime anymore. But yeah, Jonathan Allen, even Hargrave back in his prime. That's a great question. Like, I would love to do that experiment where if you went through every single NFL team, you're like, all right, all of their players are in the prime of their career. Who would be the Super Bowl favorite? I mean, the Vikings would definitely be up there. I think the Rams would be much improved. I'm trying to think about other teams. Like, you also think about like a team like the Commanders. Like, think about this. Bobby Wagner and Von Miller on their defense. Like, what if both those guys were in their prime? Marshawn Lattimore's over there. Like, prime Lattimore, prime Wagner, prime Von Miller. Also, we'd get Harrison Smith in his prime, so that's another advantage for the Vikings. That's a hell of a question, Trey Brown. That'd be a fun video to do one day. So shout out to you. But would they win the Super Bowl? 100%. Unfortunately, Board coming in saying, what positions do you think the Vikings are lacking in? None. If I'm being honest, like top to bottom, this roster is stacked. Actually, if I am being honest, I'm gonna say the quarterback position. Like, that's the worst position group on the Vikings. You got a 22-year-old J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz, and you still just beat a team 48-10. So like offensive line's good, tight end's good, wide receivers good, running back good, D-line check, linebacker check, corners now shockingly check, safeties check. Yeah, Vikings are good top to bottom, but appreciate you. Twisted Wizard, what's going on? Irish people are Steelers fans, but once they see that red-headed quarterback, the fans will stitch up, I imagine. 100%. Do you think Carson Wentz, a true redhead, I don't know if you guys know, I'm a redhead too. I don't know if you guys can see it throughout the YouTube videos, but Kevin O'Connell also is 16-4. Yeah, 16-4 with a red-headed quarterback. That's got to mean something. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be a ton of fun to see Carson Wentz, the good old redhead, in Dublin, Ireland, and we'll see. We'll see if he can get done. I think he will. Listen, Wentz, I got high expectations for him. He's got the best support system in the league. He's still a good quarterback. I think the Vikings offense will be just fine this weekend against the Steelers defense. But Jesse coming in saying, how concerned are you with J.J. McCarthy and his development? I trust KOC, but there's always a bust in every quarterback draft. That's a good point. Like, you look at that quarterback draft, like Caleb, he's probably going to end up working out. Drake May, looks really good. Jaden Daniels looks good. I think Michael Penix and Bo Nix will both be busts, though. I cannot see those guys getting second contracts with their team. So I probably say JJ, like, yeah, it hasn't looked good, but we've also gotten 8 quarters of tape. 8 quarters. Like, it's tough to have a take about the guy when he's also played 2 preseason games, 8 quarters of real football. I can't really say anything about the development just yet, and like Kevin O'Connell's gotten the most out of every quarterback. So I'm assuming whatever JJ's ceiling is with his work ethic and with KOC being the sicko he is, he'll reach that ceiling. No, Carl saying, I know the draft is far away, but what is currently the position to target? Also, what part of the stream on Sunday are we giving away the Addison signed ball? Great question. It'll be right after the game. Jordan Addison signed football. We get a bunch of raffle tickets over the last month, so we'll be giving that away on the stream this Sunday. But what position to target in the draft? Corner or safety. I'd probably say secondary. You could also maybe, if you want to go luxury pick, like a Jeremiah Love, go running back. But yeah, I'd probably say corner or safety. But the real answer is just BPA. The Vikings should do BPA for the next 5 years. Your roster's good enough, so that should be the draft plan. But Noah, I appreciate you. And I also appreciate everybody who watched this entire video. If you guys made it to the end, just give me a skull down below in the comment section. And see you guys next time. As always, let's go Vikes.